Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here then hi, my name is Miss Paris and I'm a newly qualified primary school teacher here in the UK. Today I just thought I would give kind of an update. I did a Q&A on my Instagram the other day and there were some really quite interesting questions that I thought it would be easier to answer in a video. So this isn't necessarily a tips video, sorry about that, but I just thought it would be nice as well for me to document it. You know, just talk about what I'm doing, what I am finding difficult at the moment, what I'm kind of doing in terms of home learning. So if you're curious, because I think most primary schools and even secondary schools are doing completely different things, then yeah, keep watching. So the first question I was asked was, what is your home learning situation like at the moment in terms of, you know, setting work for the children, in terms of me teaching? So as I work for an agency, it got slightly complicated very early on, and they said to me, okay, well, we don't necessarily want you to do live lessons, because as I do French and, you know, that's kind of more wider curriculum subject, they said we don't want you to do live lessons because we want the children to be flexible in terms of when they complete the work. So I started doing Microsoft Sways. Now, I'd never heard of it before, but it's almost like creating your own website. So you can put links, videos, audio, images, you know, main headings, subheadings, text, bold, italic, whatever you want. And then it's all nicely in a website format, so everything's in one place. And so I started to create these, and then they said, well, it shouldn't really take you 4 days to do that, even if you're doing from reception to year 6. So what we decided was that I would also, in order to make up my hours, I would also do music. Now, I do have a musical background, so the music wasn't the issue for me. The issue or the difficulty was knowing how to teach music without them having access to instruments, me having access to instruments, not being able to see them, not being able to hear them. So I'm kind of there trying to pre-record little instruction or little teacher input videos to put on my Sway, but they might either just be scrolling past and not listening, or listening and being like, I don't understand, but there's no way for me to get in touch. So at the moment I'm doing reception to year 6 French work and music. So I'm setting that for them, and they also asked me to do some mindfulness and yoga activities every single week. So at first I wanted to do almost like a YouTube video, you know, the whole length of time. They can almost do, it's not a workout, a yoga workout, I don't know what they're called, with me. But then I often found that I couldn't talk on the same time as doing the poses, so it didn't really work. So what I did is I made another Sway, and I wrote the instructions out, did an easier version and a more challenging, so that, you know, it could be both for Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2, and then I did a Miss Paris's attempt heading, and then a video of me doing the yoga pose underneath. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Question 2 was about my biggest obstacles. Now, for me, I think the biggest obstacle is not being able to talk to them, because some children might be finding it really easy and just getting it done in 5 minutes. Some children might be finding it really hard. Some people might just look at it and think, I can't do this, and not even do it at all. And there's no way of me contacting them or offering them feedback without it giving them extra work to complete. So I've only heard back from one boy, and he asked kind of an extra question about some French culture video that I made, not actually about the home learning, but it was just so nice to actually hear one of my pupils' voice. It almost made me emotional. But yeah, I'm finding that really tricky, because I'm going through the scheme of work, the kind of, you know, medium-term plans that we have, but they might not even have completed any of the lessons, and I'll come back to school and some will have done everything, some will have attempted but not understood, some will have not even looked at it. And so I'm already kind of dreading the time when I go back, because I have no idea what it's going to be like. That being said, another thing I find really tricky is not seeing them. I haven't seen them since obviously December. I'm not being scheduled to go in with the key worker children. I think this is because of an agency thing, or maybe insurance, not quite sure. But yeah, I miss them, and that kind of sounds silly, but yeah, my siblings are all teenagers and adults now, so it's not the same as, you know, teaching it your reception children, or even your year 6 children, really. So that is an obstacle for me, because I do miss them, and sometimes I feel like I'm trying to talk to them through a screen, but they might not be understanding it, and I hate to think that I'm moving on and doing new things and they're like, stop. But yes, we will see. I have just this week done a year 6 and year 4 quiz just to see how they're getting on. Hopefully some of them complete it. I did it on Google Forms, but I tried to be a bit extra, and I went on PowerPoint and I made an, you know, Among Us imposter thing. So who's the imposter, like the odd word out in French. So hopefully that makes it seem less formal, but we'll see. My third question was about the hardest thing teaching from home. I think it kind of links to the other things I mentioned about the biggest obstacles, but also the fact that sometimes tech-wise things just don't work for me. So let's say I record a nice input, but then I can't get it onto the Sway, or it's just not working on the software, for example, or it's really loud at home. You know, my 2 siblings are doing home learning, my other sibling is doing like driving, for example, and then I'm here trying to record something and I have to re-record it a billion times, or, you know, get everyone to be completely silent so I can record an audio clip of me pronouncing the word in French. I think that's quite tricky. And also not going into school at all, you kind of lack structure sometimes. I mean, I've never worn informal trousers so many times in a week. It's really, yeah, it's bizarre. I don't know about everyone else. I'd love to know what your situation is, because I know some people, they've had it really intense and had to do every single day live lessons, even in primary, and some are doing pre-recorded but they have little catch-up sessions. I'd love to know what you're doing with your primary or secondary, because I think there's no real guidelines, is there? It's tricky to know what to do and what everyone else is doing. So yes, do let me know in the comments, because I am nosy. The last question from Instagram was, how are you dealing with different classes? Now, I am keeping it consistent. I am sticking with the Sways, but with Key Stage 1 I am definitely putting more of my face, more of my voice in the clips. I think also, you know, you can't assume that parents will always be sat next to them, or that they will always be reading. So if I do write instructions, I normally put an audio clip of me saying it, so that if they can't read it, they can just listen to me say the same thing. I also have, oh, I don't have it right next to me. I also have a whiteboard that I'm writing a lot of things on, including, you know, notations for music, or we did in year 2, we're looking at numbers, but they know their numbers, so now it's kind of applying it into different contexts than just reciting them. So we were doing find the missing number, and I didn't want to just assume they all knew how to find the missing number, so I kind of did almost like a math input. You know, I did the number line, showed them how to find the missing number, gave them some practices, and then I asked them to find the missing number and then say it in French. So yes, Key Stage 1 is definitely more audio, more video inputs, which take me the longest, but with Key Stage 2 I'm trying to really scaffold where possible. So if they are really good at French, they might be finding this easy, but hopefully then they can practice getting the spellings right, the feminine and masculine right. And what I'm kind of doing is, rather than saying, okay, well, today we're going to write a sentence like this, and me modelling it and then kind of copying it out, I've done it from almost year 3, 4 level and then built it up. So hopefully, if they're doing it in their home learning books, they have a kind of nice build up of sentences that get longer and longer, even to the point of using fronted adverbials in French. That sounds scary saying it out loud, but yes, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. With music, I'm finding it extremely hard because I really have no idea where they've started. Even with year 1s, I don't know what they've done in reception. Reception, I'm really starting from all basic, but even then sometimes I wonder if it's too hard. But yeah, that's tricky. For the older years, I am using a program called Jaranga. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but I'm still very new to it, so I'm trying to find how to use it. But I think it's nice for them sometimes to go onto another software, you know, listen to something, have kind of guided questions to to do an appraisal for the songs rather than just listening to me all the time. But yes, that is kind of just a quick little update. So my day kind of tends to look like that. Do the sways for French and music, and then at the end of the week I normally mass produce the mindfulness and yoga exercises. But yes, I hope you enjoyed our little informal chat. Yeah, these are a bit weird for me because they're never structured, but I just think looking back maybe next year or a few years time, it'll be nice just to have a look at, especially when I saw my last COVID update, which was in March. I just thought that was crazy how little we knew what was to come. But yes, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to have a conversation with me, share your experiences down below in the comments. I love to just chat with you guys, and subscribe for more teacher content in future. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye!